Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world, really. And welcome to the Voices of Russ Ballard with myself, Ian.
And me, Sven. Hello. Morning, folks. Good afternoon, folks. Good evening, folks. Wherever you are. Well said, Ian. Well said.
Caught you by surprise by that. I never seen you last minute.
That was good.
That's good. Can you believe, Sven, this is pod number 6? Is that right?
Correct. Yeah. You're doing good in these calculations. Wow.
I know. The brain's still active, just about. So this is podcast number 6, and something we're really looking forward to this morning, isn't it? This is going to be 2/4 of a 60s boy band. Can I call them a boy band?
Well, I think you are okay. If we ask some of the girls back in the 60s, they would really say, yeah, boy band.
Correct. Good stuff.
But who is it? Do you have any hint for me? Who's our guest?
Who is it? Well, listen, we're spinning the wheel today, but we have hit the jackpot. Because I am betting that this member of the Roulettes, and who knows, we need to talk to him. Perhaps he's even the founder and member of the Roulettes.
Yeah,
it's going to be a great interview. Yeah. So who do you think it is, Sven?
Ooh, so the founder, you've spoken a little bit about the jackpot. Maybe he's also a songwriter.
Yep.
Could it be that our today's guest is Peter Thorp?
It might well do. I think without any further ado, he's on the line. We ought to get him on the show. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome from the Voices of Russ Ballard to the legend that is Mr. Peter Thorp. Let's give it up for Peter.
Yay!
Hey, that's cool. That's a lovely introduction, you two guys.
Great to have you on board. Great to have you on board. And even if our listeners can't see you now, I must say you look really, really good.
Thank you very much.
You're looking really well, Pete. That's good. And by the way,
it's amazing what lightning and makeup can do.
I always say it's a good surgeon. That's what I always say at my end, but there we go.
Well, yeah.
Should we call you Pete or Peter or Thorpey?
Do you know what? I don't mind. It's been Pete Thorp, Thorpey. Thorpey's been a pretty good one. And most people call me Pete, to be honest with you.
Well,
Peter Thorpey, whatever. Yeah.
Peter is then.
Peter. I answer to all of them.
So given that this is a podcast which doesn't include obviously video content, I'm just going to kick things off by saying we've got a very clear view of Peter, and in the background he's got a gold disc on the wall. And so I was going to ask you about that, Peter. Tell us about the gold disc.
It's not a Gen Gold disc of a song or anything like that I've written or whatever. What it was basically is a band that I've been playing with for the last sort of 20 odd years. We didn't do very much, but we used to do an awful lot of charity stuff, and we used to do charity gigs at Sandown Park Racecourse in Esher. And used to get some really good people there, and we raised an awful lot of money, Help for Heroes and the Cancer Trust and different things. And and one of the guys that used to come and support us all the time, who also lived in Esher, and we used to sort of meet in the pub as well, is Dave Jensen. And somebody found somebody who could make these imitation gold discs up or whatever it is. And he suddenly came up at the end of one of the numbers and said, "Oh, ladies and gentlemen, for services to rock and roll, the charity's here and playing Johnny Be Good about 500 times. I'd like to present this to Pete Thorp." And so, and that's how I got it. Basically, it's one of those sort of discs, but it's fun and it's on the wall and it's nice, you know, along with a
Yeah, from David.
Yeah, Kid Jensen, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, a few of the guys sort of live around there. Well, Tell, of course, or should I say Adam? I've got to call him Tell because I'll never be able to call him Adam every time. I mean, he lived in Isha. That's when we first met. So,
Right.
yeah, so Isha's it's a bit like a second home to me. I don't actually live there now. I live over in Woodmanston, but it's not far, but it's a nice place, and we go there quite a lot.
That's a good link to start with it then, isn't it? Because, you know, we did a little bit of research on you, didn't we, Sven?
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about the early days. I think let's start with the early days. So, Pete, if you would like to tell us a little bit about your birthplace and growing up in Surrey. And very important to all of us, do you come from a musical family?
Well, I'll answer that first because I suppose one could say yes. My mum used to play around on the piano, but my dad, he was a very, very accomplished violinist, and was actually invited to join one of the symphony orchestras in town in London. But unfortunately, he came true and said, unfortunately, I'm going deaf. I'm a little bit deaf in one ear. And they just refused to take him on that basis. And he was really choked about that. But to be honest with you, I mean, because of that disappointment, as soon as the opportunity came up for me, he insisted virtually that you've just got to give it a go. There's only one chance in life and just give it a try. My mum really wanted me to stay on and sort of get a career in whatever. But my dad loved music, and I remember every Thursday night in our dining room, I mean, you used to open the door and you couldn't see the other side of the room for smoke. But he used to be in there with his violin, read music perfectly. And he was playing for about 2 or 3 hours, and it was a regular thing on a Thursday. Never forget that. It was lovely. Yeah, and that of course led me on to the usual things with hearing Lonnie, loving Lonnie, loving the acoustic strummed guitar.
That was Lonnie Donegan, yeah, the Lonnie Donegan. That
He's what? Sorry.
When you say Lonnie, that's Lonnie Donegan, just perhaps. So
yeah.
Forgive me, I'm just thinking some of our younger listeners who are thinking, who's Lonnie? That's all. So I'm thinking.
Right, yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah.
And they not at all. But they might want to go off and download, as they do these days. Download a bit of Lonnie Donegan just to listen to what the music's like.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, a lot of that old stuff really stands up well, and
it does.
And it was a different type of skiffle thing, and it was really good. I mean, I think most of us started like that with the acoustic guitar and strumming away, and then gradually got into the Buddy Holly, Gene Vincent, Ricky Nelson, James Burton type thing, and changed tack, of course, like most of us. But well, that was it. I mean, that was Surrey. I mean, I grew up in a place called Merton Park, which is sort of next to Sutton, and went to Sutton High School, which funny enough, produced a few people in the music business, because Glyn Johns, the record producer, was there. Dick Morrissey, the jazz saxophone player, I believe, was there. And funnily enough, actually, it came up about 2 or 3 months ago, but and Russ knows him as well, a chappie called Robin Mayhew, who did Russ's sound, I think, in the 70s when he first toured America.
He did. We had we had an article on the newsletter about him and Robin. I actually spoke to Robin as well a little while ago, because he actually lives down on the south coast now.
Oh, does he?
Yeah, and he had a recording of the 1976 tour that Russ did after he left Argent around then. And he sent me a photograph of a disc that Russ gave him after the tour. So, like a sort of a thank you plaque, and he's still got it. Fantastic, fascinating guy, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, because you don't know these things. All these things suddenly come out the woodwork. But I mean, when I had my first band at the Granada in Sutton, when I was like 16 or 15, 16, still at school. This was on a Saturday night, and the singer in that band, a guy called Rick Tyrrell, I mean, he actually went on to join Robin's band called, I think it was called The Presidents, that were also in Sutton.
Yes.
And, I mentioned to you about that Eden Kane disc, Will I Ask You?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the same thing happened to The Presidents. They were offered the record that I may be going over old ground here. I don't know if he's told you this. The one that the Tremolos made. For the life of me, I can't think of what it was now. But they were offered it, and Rick Tyrrell sang on that as well. Candyman, that was the one. But poor old Rick, he's joined two bands there, and unfortunately didn't get it. But our dear friend Robin went on to make a good living, by the looks of things, out of music, and of course we went on, as we did, to link up with Tell as his backing band.
And originally that backing band was called The Strangers, is that right?
Yeah, we were The Strangers, but a good little band actually, and I'm still in touch with or certainly one of them, Martin. The bass player, the old bass player from there. We were The Strangers. We used to do Saturday night dances there. They had a band like they normally do, the Ron Something band, and then we used to come on and do 2 45-minute spots doing Shadows numbers and Buddy Holly stuff and things like that. And I mean, that's when do you want me to sort of link into the Les Perrin thing here? Because Les, he lived round the corner behind the Granada Theatre, which of course isn't there now. But our singer, Rick, his girlfriend knew Leslie Perrin, and she said, "Oh, I must have a word with him because he's Cliff Richard's PR manager." And so we said, "Oh, yeah, okay." Anyway, he came up and saw us. We got on really quite well with him, and he offered us a demo disc of Will I Ask You? And we thought, oh, great. He said, this is going to be a big hit. He said, I think it was written by Les Van Dyke as well. And he said, get up to R.G. Jones and Oak Records and try and get it recorded as soon as you can. So we booked up and got in. But would you believe Eden Kane had been offered it, probably around about the same sort of time. And Decca brought it out within a week. And of course, it had a massive hit with it. So that was the end of that as far as our early recording career was concerned. But it's one step onward, so to speak. And Les, of course, was instrumental in getting us our audition with Adam Faith. Adam's management, Eve Taylor and Colin Berlin, Les Van Dyke, the songwriter who'd written those early songs for Adam, What Do You Want, etc. He was there as well. And the idea basically was, I think, that the John Barry Seven were getting pretty committed themselves. They were doing the backing on Adam Faith's live appearances. But because of their hit from the television show, Hit and Run, I think it was called, they were starting getting very busy and basically doing their own gigs. So consequently, Eve got in touch with Leslie Perrin and said, I know you look after Cliff and the Shadows. Can you recommend a band or anything like that that might be able to help us out and back Adam Faith on his gigs? So so we got the audition and we went up there to where was it? Regent Sound, I think. Did our audition. We're told.
What was the lineup at that audition, Peter? What was the lineup?
The lineup was myself, Martin on bass, a guy called Tony Burgess on rhythm guitar, and a chap called Ron Cosgrove on drums, who was our drummer in The Strangers. But when we actually got offered the gig, he said, "I'm sorry, but I won't be able to do this because I really want to concentrate on the career that I'm going through at the moment." So he didn't, but we knew another drummer actually from nearby New Malden. So we gave him a ring, and of course he jumped at the chance. So it ended up the very first band that Adam took on, The Strangers, was myself, Martin, Tony and John Roberts, the drummer from New Malden.
Nice.
And it stayed that way for about 30 gigs, I think. I worked out the other day. I got a list of them, which was amazing. And well, Martin is he was quite a collector of things like that, and he used to keep a diary. And he said to me, look, he said, I've got all the dates of the gigs that we did there and when we started, blah, blah, blah. Of course, the famous one when we started was we were doing the Sutton Public Hall on the Saturday, and on the Sunday afternoon, we were backing Adam Faith at the Royal Albert Hall in one of the pole shows.
As one does. That was 1961.
As one does.
That was 1961, Pete, I think, yes?
That was 61. That was October 61, yeah. And and then we went straight on tour after that with the John Barry 7, and Dave Allen actually was the compere on that one. And it started from like, I think about the 1st of October, went right the way through to, when was it? I think, the 10th of November was the Wembley Arena. We did a pole concert at the Wembley Arena after doing all these shows at the Gaumont, the Granadas, the ABCs all over the country. And then basically, as he did on more than one occasion, said, thanks guys, I'll be in touch. And basically he said, I may be bringing you back to work with me, I may not, etc., etc. But fortunately, I mean, I actually got on with him exceptionally well. I think probably because we live quite close to each other, and we both had a love of golf and other silly things. And he always kept in touch with me. But it wasn't very long, because I think a couple of weeks after that, he said to me, Pete, he said, I need a small band. He said, maybe just a 3-piece. He said, for a few things I've got to do. He said, how's about you and Martin? Can you find me another drummer? So there's quite a long story there as well, because I mean, they used to, musicians used to meet up outside the Windmill Theatre in Soho on a Monday, and it was like an area where everyone used to go and wait for the people to turn up to book them for jobs and things like that. And I went up there, and just on the off chance, don't ask me why, because it wasn't my sort of scene really, because it was all stuff for orchestral people. But anyway, I just happened to be chatting to somebody, and he was a drummer from South Wales who had come up to look for work. And I said, do you play rock and roll and stuff like that? He said, I can do anything. And I said, okay, fine. Well, let's, so he came back to my place, and we sort of set up a little drum kit and everything else. He was fine. He was a really good drummer, to be absolutely honest with you. So it ended up, to cut a long story short, as a trio with myself, Martin Blackwell, and this Jeff Morley for another set of dates, which went all the way through January, February, doing Billy Cotton Band shows, Saturday clubs, another load of one-night stands. And then finishing, I think it was...
Be careful, it's a family show, Peter. You've got to be careful when you say things like that, one night stands. Sorry, I'm being facetious. No, don't go there.
We won't go. That's another question, isn't it?
Yeah, just about
in a previous podcast, we heard something about fucking tap dancing. So I think it's still okay. It's still okay, Peter, to say this.
I'll try and avoid that, but the old one might slip in, I can assure you. But anyway, no, we went through, if you want to hear the end of this little sort of area, right the way through to the end of March, with just the three of us, myself, Martin Blackpool and Jeff, a tour of Ireland, and we ended up at the Empire Pool, Wembley again. And then he disbanded the group, would you believe, again.
So that's the Royal Albert Hall. That's the Royal Albert Hall and the Empire Pool, which is, of course, now we know as Wembley Arena, in short succession. That's not too bad, is it, for an up-and-coming band?
Well, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, you just don't realise when you look back, how lucky we were. It's a typical case of, and I remember John Verity saying this, being in the right place at the right time. And that is absolutely right. I mean, if Leslie Perrin hadn't lived behind the Sutton Granada and heard about us, we'd still be there, so to speak. But it is literally just that. And, Yeah, but I mean, we went right through there. And Licorice actually showed an appearance. We're trying to find out at the moment. I think he only did a couple of shows with us, from what I can understand. This is when the band was basically disbanded. It must have been myself, Licorice, Jeff Morley. I don't know why Martin wasn't involved. I really don't. But anyway, and I think we just did a couple of gigs with him. I think one was at the Palladium. I think we did like a skiffle type thing with Adam, and I think Cliff was on the bill doing his usual stuff. But for some reason, Adam wanted to do maybe a tribute to Lonnie Donegan or something like that, and we did this like a skiffle type thing. Because I mean, shows in those days, as you probably remember, weren't long. I mean, you were lucky to get 20-minute spot, to be honest with you. Even on the one-night stands, most bands were playing 3 or 4 numbers, and the main artist was probably doing about 6 or 7. So there wasn't an awful lot to learn or whatever from that point of view. But
the girls still managed to scream throughout all 3 tracks. Then, Peter, when you were on stage.
Absolutely. Well, that was the situation in those days, wasn't it?
Lovely. Yeah.
Oh, it was great. Let's be fair. I mean, we all loved it, and it was great going to shows. It was great being in shows, and they were fabulous days. There's no doubt about it, right the way through. And thoroughly enjoyed it.
I've heard it still happens when you walk down Sutton High Street. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. Oh, somebody I used to know. Oh dear, yeah. So anyway, from there, and then of course it ended up with John joining the band.
That's John Rogers, right? Is it?
John Rogers, yeah, from the Hunters, and he was a good friend of Bob's. Well, he was actually engaged to Bob's sister, of course, as you probably know. Yes. And I mean, it was a choice between him and Licorice joining us or the Shadows, because that's when Jet departed. Tony Meehan had already gone, but Jet departed then, and it ended up with basically Licorice joining the Shadows and John joining the Roulettes, and it was the start of a new era. Basically, we did have a saxophone player who I forgot to mention earlier in the latter part of those gigs, a guy called Alan Jones, a lovely chap actually, and he was with us. And then John, I went to see John at the Theatre Royal Stratford. He was playing in the pit along with Jim Sullivan and somebody else. Basically orchestral pit backing a musical that was coming out, and for the life of me I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, and I thought he sounded good, and I had a quick word with him afterwards. A very affable guy, and he came obviously with a very good pedigree. And I said, well, come and meet Tell, Adam, Faith, and which he did. Everyone got on great. And at that point, Jeff, our drummer, had gone back to deepest Wales, and he said, "Well, I know a drummer. Actually, he's my fiancé's brother." And I said, "Oh, well, for fire." Yeah. Anyway, it all worked out that John and Bob basically joined at the same time, and I think we kicked off our little stint with John Rogers, Bob, myself, and Alan on saxophone at the one of the Bristol venues, and I can't quite remember what it was. I think Bob knows that one. But anyway, and from there on, of course, I think probably most people know how things went with the tragedy of Johnny in the accident, and but with the joy of bringing Mod in, who we've loved and enjoyed company of musically and other pursuits for the last 50 years. So it's been great. Yeah, I mean it was a lovely start off, a mad couple of years really, until we settled down in 63 at the summer season in Bridlington. So it was nearly 2 years, sort of from August 61 to June 63, before we actually became the 4-piece that we know and love now.
Well, listen, that's really fascinating. We're going to take a quick break here on the Voices of Russ Ballard, and we'll be back with Pete Thorp in a moment. And we're back with Peter Thorp or Pete Thorp.
Or Pete.
Or Pete. Pete. We've got a question that we always like to ask all the members of the Roulettes, and quite a special question really is, when did you first meet the man that is Russ Ballard? Have you got any recollections of when he first walked through the door and you saw him, and you know, tell us a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, I got a call from Adam Faith. We were in limbo at the time. Henry had just decided to leave the band, and anyway, I got a call from him. He said, Pete, I've just met this guy John's brought down, and his name's Russ, and he said he's got a great image, dark glasses and everything else. He said, they've gone now. He said, but what we're going to do is we're going to get back together. He said, would you be happy to sort of take over Henry's spot and sort of do a rhythm and lead role? And I thought, well, why not? And I've always enjoyed, to be honest with you, being a sideman. But anyway, between the jigs and the reels, we then met up back at Tell's place in Esher, and we got on great. I mean, I think everybody was happy with the situation, and we played a few tunes and did some stuff. He had a study there with drums and different bits and pieces there, and and that was probably the first time I actually met Russ, and we've been together ever since, so to speak.
That's great to hear. So, in terms of musical skills, so you said he went in with his dark glasses, looking super cool, looking like a true rock star, I guess.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But he was a young guy. He was a very young guy, and his musical skills. Were you impressed back in the days? How good this young boy was?
Oh, crikey, yeah. I mean, we used to do, later on, of course, we did things for Radio Luxembourg. But I mean, both he and I were both very interested in the same type of musicians, James Burton and people like that, which we all were in those days. I mean, he was a young guy, but we were all young guys. So, I mean, I can't sort of say I remember him as being a youngster or anything like that. Okay, he was sort of a year and a half or so younger than we were at the time. But I don't know, he just fitted in. He just looked good, and a lovely personality. And he played great, and we all had a really good laugh and a lot of fun. And I think everybody hit it off straight away, to be honest with you. It was really good.
It's funny because Mod tells the story about when he joined the band. He actually said, and a great compliment to you and Russ, is that he went from semi-pro to pro. And his description in our podcast, actually, here on The Voices of Russ Ballard, was that there was a huge gulf, he felt, between being semi-pro and professional musicians. And he said when he walked in to see you, the quality and the standard of your musicianship, you, Russ, I guess Bob as well at the time, he was just blown away. And he said he felt he had to, step up to the plates, if you like, to get to that level. So I think that's a great compliment to you and the rest of the guys. So what I'd like to do now is probably let's think about kicking the can further down the road.
soon to be past. Kicking the can further down the street, just holding back what we're bound to repeat. Kicking the can further down the road, like we're dynamite. Kick the can and we'll explode. What's wrong with you? You don't see what you do. You change like the weather. You wanna leave and stay together. I could work today if you tell me to go away. Don't wanna be that cloud inside your head, but I won't be back. You made your bed. It's your addiction, not vindictive. How could it last? Here comes my future, soon to be past. Kicking the can further down the street, just holding back what we're bound to repeat. Kicking the can further down the road, it's packed with dynamite. Kick the can and we'll explode.
So that's Kicking the Can from Russ Ballard, of course. From the album, what's the name of the album, Sven? I can't remember. Tell me.
It's good to be here.
It's always good to be with you, Sven, and of course to have Pete as well. From Good to Be Here, which is available in all good record shops or direct from the website, of course.
Yeah, that's it. What an amazing title. I mean, it's good to be here. It's always good to be here. It's good to be anywhere. And yeah, if you don't have a copy yet, get yourself 1 to 10 copies. I mean, we are close to Christmas at the moment.
Exactly.
That's a brilliant Christmas gift.
Santa would love to put something like that in his sack, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah, yeah. Sad.
Has he got enough copies?
Matron. Yes, probably.
You
Anyway,
could send down for more.
so having kicked that can very, very well and very musically down the street, tell us a little bit about Adam Faith now. Tell us a little bit about what he was like and how you got on with him, because I know that you were quite close to him physically in terms of where you were living, for example.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got on really well, to be honest with you. As you quite rightly say, we didn't live far from each other. So, I mean, I was always sort of popping down to his place in the early days. I mean, in the very early days, of course, when we first met up, I was down there pretty well every day, and we were just running through songs and things that he wanted to do and things like that. And then I used to come back and we rehearsed them with the band. And but I mean, yeah, no, he was a great guy. I mean, we almost grew up together, I suppose, in some respects over those years. He loved his golf. He was very generous with most of the things he did. Never let you pay for anything, which was always embarrassing, but we got around that in the end. And yeah, he was a lovely guy, and I think he just certainly, as we all grew together, when Mod came on board and things like that, and we were doing our summer seasons, I mean, he always wanted to do things with us if he could. I mean, he was committed to other things because he had interviews to do and he was the big star, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, I always got the feeling he wanted to be the fifth roulette, effectively, because he, you know, we always sort of played, I mean, we'd played tennis together, golf together, socialise together, have meals together. He was a really lovely fellow. And I think all of us got on with him. We hardly ever fell out. I mean, and if it was something stupid, and we all sort of, and it was forgotten within minutes, hours, or certainly by the next morning.
I guess during that. Sorry, yeah, I was just thinking as you were talking there. You know, in this world of mobile phones, videos, selfies, and goodness knows what else, did Adam get recognised a lot? If you went out for dinner with him, did he get stopped and asked for an autograph? Obviously, not a photo because it wasn't available in those days. But did he get recognised a lot, or was that the early part?
Oh yeah. I mean, Adam Faith, he was a really big star.
Yeah.
I mean, Russ, well, we'll all tell you. I mean, he was next to Cliff, effectively, in the grades. Cliff was obviously number one, and Adam Faith was definitely in second spot. Had a great image at the time, and if you look back at some of the pictures in the old days, the pole winners concerts and things like that, and he had his sort of white suit on and stuff. He really looked the biz, and and with his haircut and square-jawed features, I mean, he was instantly recognisable, and I mean, no one bothered us that much. I mean, it wasn't like a crowd of screaming people outside, because we made sure we didn't go to those sort of restaurants or whatever. But I mean, he got recognised a lot. But you get used to that sort of thing, I guess. Not us so much, but he certainly did.
He really was a superstar back in the days.
He was.
People still remember him and his songs. I mean, yeah, that's a good question. What's your favourite Adam Faith song?
Favourite Adam Faith song?
A tricky question.
And I'll give you some.
Well, I'll tell you what.
We'll give you some thinking time there, Pete. We'll give you some thinking time while I'm talking as well. And not only have you got to tell us what it is, if you've got to follow in the footsteps of Mod, and you've got to give us a line from it. I'm afraid. Singing.
Oh, crikey! Well, in that case, he is. Well, no, do you know what? I should really say, "What do you want?" If you don't want money, but I think my favourite song of his would definitely be "It's All Right," which we recorded with him with Chris Andrews. Had a massive input on that song we did. And it was a big hit. It was a big hit in America as well, and of course it was also included in that film Good Night, or the Vietnam one, Good Morning Vietnam, wasn't it?
Oh, right.
And
Yes.
I was always annoyed because we never got a credit on that, and after our input, it was a bit disappointing. But anyway, there you go. That was the story of our musical career, to be fair. But no, I mean,
written by Chris, wasn't it?
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. And what about the least favourite then? Let's look at which one when you're on stage, perhaps you think, oh God, I've got to play that one again. And you look at the set list and you go, oh no, got to play that. I really hate this song. Was there any like that?
I don't have to think about that one. It was called When Johnny Comes Marching Home. Probably the worst pop song I can ever imagine happening. But anyway, that was just the way it went in those days. And I suppose it was ideal for the John Barry backing situation with the strings. But oh no, I couldn't stand that song.
Right.
There we go.
Well,
Okay.
Sorry, Sven.
Yeah, you just mentioned Chris Andrews, that Chris had a massive, impact on you guys. He helped writing the songs. What was he always around? I mean, by the way, we have to get him on board here on the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast one day.
Oh,
so, Chris, if you're listening,
that would be good.
Come and join us.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago now. But we're in touch quite a bit. But no one really had heard of Chris. He used to play with the Beatles and all that sort of thing in Hamburg in the early days, and of course he went to songwriting, and he must have offered this song to Adam Faith's management the first time, and they thought it was a great song anyway. That was recorded, and that's how we first got to know Chris, and that's where our names actually first appeared on record labels, Adam Faith with the Roulettes, and that was the start of that. And funnily enough, it's a real coincidence, but he lived about a mile away from me in South Wimbledon, and we got to know each other pretty well, to be honest. He didn't know anybody. He got a German wife, very lovely lady, and a couple of young kids, and they were living in a small little flat. And anyway, yeah, we got to know each other well. And as things got better and better over the years, he moved to another house relatively close, and yeah, we stayed very much in touch until probably about the same time he disappeared off our scene as we broke up, so to speak, or went our own ways. And yeah, but I mean, Chris, lovely guy. I mean, he always used to come and see us at summer seasons and things like that, and we spent a lot of time with him because he wrote pretty well all the singles that we made, certainly in the early days anyway. And he wrote some really great songs. Well, not with us, but Sandy and all sorts of people as well. So Sandy Shaw, that is, of course. Yeah, I know. Nice guy, old Chris. Yeah, a lot of time for him.
Yeah. I mean, for those listeners who don't know, perhaps have not heard of Chris Andrews, and we are hoping to get him on the show very, very soon. And Pete, feel free to add to these songs, but you know, he wrote a song called Yesterday Man. I'm her yesterday man. Sorry, I've just thrown that in. Things like Girl Don't Come for Sandy Shaw, Long Live Love, Sandy Shaw. With The First Time, Adam Faith. You know, the songs just go on and on and on. So sorry, Pete, you got a story on that, have you?
No, he had a big catalogue. No, I was just going to apologise for not mentioning his own hits that he wrote for himself. I think he offered that to somebody. I think he offered it to Sandy and to Tom Jones.
Yeah, I mean he's got a fantastic back catalogue, and well, he has you know, a huge talent. So we're going to get him on very soon. Well, we're just a couple of questions just to finish up on Adam Faith before we talk about the Roulettes after they not split, but they went on their own individual way after, or individuals' way after that. Did Adam ever tell you off for any reason on stage? Did you have any long-standing disagreements? I know Mod told us about the time he felt that Mod was perhaps taking a bit of the limelight on stage, and Tell told him off a little bit for that and saying, "Oi, you know, yeah, I'm the star. You know, you do that again, and if you do that again, I'm going to replace you with another band." You know, and then everything was fine in a couple of days.
Yeah, but he was. I mean, he probably got a bit upset about something. He gets upset about silly little things. If it's not quite going his way or something might have annoyed him on that Mod incident. And when Mod sort of did his little piece, it sort of rubbed him up the wrong. But I mean, all these things, it's like I said earlier, you know, we're in each other's pockets 24 hours a day. And it's, you know, you're bound to have a slight disagreement here and there. But as I, you know, just repeating myself, it just became nothing. And later the day, or even whatever, tap each other on the back, and that was it. And we were all back together again. I mean, we lived as a family, and we wanted to stay as a family, and that was what it was all about, you know. And
last Adam-related question from me. Did you meet any of the Beatles because I know you were on the bill with them, and again, you know, Mod tells the story about them stealing your fashion ideas. But have you got any recollections? Have you got any stories to tell about perhaps on you sharing dressing rooms with the Fab Four?
Well, we never shared a dressing room. I think we did a TV show with them once, and I can't remember what that was. Probably Thank You Lucky Stars or something. Might have been a Christmas special. I can't quite remember. And I remember somehow that I think we sort of joined forces and we were all singing together round about 4 mics or something. It wasn't any. I can't remember what the song was. It was probably an American sort of bluesy type song or something. I don't know. I mean, the only other instance I can remember, I don't know if this has been mentioned before, but I mean, when we met them at Great Yarmouth, we were doing a one-night stand there, and they were doing one on the other pier. There's 2 piers at Yarmouth, and these Sunday concerts they used to do. And we ended up back at the hotel that we were sort of lodging in, so to speak, and they came in the lounge pretty well a few minutes after we got there, and we had a really good chat and things, and we had quite a few laughs about people signing different autographs. Now, whether that should be allowed or not, I don't know, to be broadcast, but it's, I think I can't remember who it was, but one of us was doing George's autograph, and then somebody else was doing Paul's autograph and giving them back to the guy who was handing them to the people out in the corridor. So, which is all a bit naughty, but it's just stupid things. At the time, we were young kids in our 19s and 20s, exactly. And we found it funny. This is probably where all those bogus autographs are coming from these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, not really, to be honest with you. No, I don't think our paths crossed at all. No.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Beatles conquered the world and were playing Star Club in Hamburg, but the Roulettes recorded an album, Steaks and Chips. How was it recording the album?
Oh, it was great. I mean, EMI, I think, like most artists, if you've done a few singles with them, the A&R man, it was almost like part of the contract that you did an LP or long player or whatever. And I mean, John Burgess, our A&R man, rang up and said, right, it's time that we want to put an album out. And that was it. But to be honest with you, I think the album contained an awful lot of the singles that we'd done of Chris's, plus a couple of other of Chris's. But we were allowed, believe it or not, to contribute a couple of songs ourselves. And Bob and Russ did a couple, and Mod and I did a couple on that album. We quite enjoyed that. I mean, I think the best part about that album, from my point of view, was our collaboration stuff when we used to do those instrumentals, the 4 of us. Oh, sorry about that. Probably my mummy. Can you hear that?
It's your agent. He's saying, look, charge them more money.
That's it.
It's probably Russ saying, what on earth are you saying about me?
Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.
You can tell this is exclusively live on the Voices of Russ Ballard. Even rock stars and past boy band members, their phone rings at inconvenient times. You see, this is real life here.
There's Russell ringing.
Oh, well, anyway, that's all gone now, so I'm sure you're going to cut that out. But where were we? Oh, yeah, was the instrumental
actually
like Junk and a taste of honey and things. It gave us the opportunity to, as individuals, to show our worth in the band. I mean, Russ did a lot of keyboard work. I played the guitar, and Mod and Bob obviously on bass and drums. And but I mean, I thought some of those were pretty good, to be honest, especially of the time. I mean, we were sort of like 20, 21-year-old kids, and we were playing some pretty good music there. And I always felt Junk was the absolute prime sort of song to open a TV detective series or something like that. Yeah. It just had something about it, opening with the drums and then coming in with that bass note on the electric piano. The whole thing sounded really good. But anyway, that was the way it was, and it was really good fun to make. And then, of course, we went on to do the Faith Alive album with Tell at EMI a few years later, in front of a live audience. What's a live audience these days, by the way?
Oh, we'll tell you.
Let's go there.
In a couple of years.
That was really good fun because Chris was on piano and the four of us and Adam. And yeah, we had a really good day there doing that. Yeah, enjoyed doing that album. It was good, and it's highly collectible, I might add.
Yeah, some of us have a vinyl copy and signed as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, I won't say any more in case in case I alert people to that valuable piece in my house. But you wrote two songs. You wrote two songs on the album with Mod, as I understand it. One called "I Can't Think of Anyone Else."
Yeah,
and the other one called "Find Out the Truth." Is that correct? Have I got that right?
Yeah, that's right. And Tel did. I can't think on a couple of. We did it on the live album. We also did it on the. He put it on another one of his albums. So, yeah, I mean, it's quite a nice little song. And the other one, I think we pretty well made up in the studio. We had the basis for it, and then the rest of it, we just finished it off in the studio. Find Out the Truth. But we didn't, I mean, none of us in those days really sort of put our heads around each other's doors and started saying, how about this, or doing any songwriting. It only came with me. I mean, I was doing a few little bits at home, but not very much. And because of our, with Mod and I being so far apart, him North London, me South London, it wasn't like sort of just popping around with an idea and let's work on this one type of thing. So that's probably how we sort of drifted apart from that point of view. But I went on and did a couple of things after we went our own ways, and then it all sort of dropped off, to be honest. Yeah, bit of a shame. But it's what happens at the time, isn't it?
Well, before we leave Steaks and Chips, it's never a bad time to talk to you, and we can't think of anyone else that we'd like to talk to anymore.
Love it. I love it.
Anyway, so you said before we leave the Roulettes completely. Tell us about some projects that you did then after the Steaks and Chips album. Tell us about what you did and what route you took.
Well, I didn't do that much. I mean, I did quite a few demos for different people, and what happened is I met, or I think Freddie Poser, who was the music publisher at the time. He rang me, I think, and because he lived in South London as well, in Claygate, just between myself and Isha. And anyway, I popped round and he said, "Why don't you start doing? I know the band's sort of gone different ways, and Russ and Bob have gone into Unit 4+2, etc." He said, "Have you ever thought about sort of maybe doing some stuff? Have you got any stuff?" And I said, "Well, I've got a few bits and pieces." And he said, "Well, let's have a look at some of it." And So anyway, he signed me up. He was working out of Southern Music at the time. He got me signed up with Southern Music. We did a song, one of my songs called "Baby Come Back to Me" by a chappie called Simon DeLacy. And it got released on a new record that they were I can't think what the right word is, but they were promoting at the time anyway, Southern Music. And I didn't get anywhere, unfortunately. I think we came up against a couple of really strong contenders for the charts in those days. But to be honest with you, that was it. And I wrote a few bits and pieces which nearly happened for different people, but it wasn't, and I found an alternative way of making some decent money at the time, and so I tended to drift away from it. And unfortunately, that's exactly what happened for probably about 20 years, till about sort of probably not as long as that, about 1980, 85, something like that. So about 10 or 15 years. And then I came back and started playing a bit more, and there we go.
So going back to Russ, then, I mean, obviously, you went and did other things in your new career, and you moved on, still staying quite friendly, I think, with the Roulettes. But did you go and see Russ or Argent play live down the years? Can you remember, going to see the band, obviously with Russ and Bob in it?
No, and don't ask me why. I really do not know, because there's no reason I didn't. Maybe it's just one of those things that I wasn't so much in touch with the music business, didn't know where they may be playing or anything like that. I did go and see Unit 4+2 once. I think it was a Christmas Eve or a New Year's Eve or something in North London somewhere. That was in the early days, so it was probably 68, 69. And but no, I mean, I saw Bob with the Kinks once in Fairfield Halls, believe it or not. And
great venue.
Yeah, it was a great venue, very good venue. But no, to be honest with you, the first time I saw, I mean, apart from ourselves doing things when we did that thing in Broxbourne, and Tels came out on stage to surprise everybody, that was, I think, about 86. Obviously we played then, and but we had a few meetups. We not so regularly as we do now, but we certainly used to have some meetups, sort of meals, sort of Christmas meals and things like that, and a catch up on things. And I mean, the table was buzzing. We never stopped talking. Well, we still don't. I mean, as soon as we get together, you can guarantee something new comes out, and that we haven't heard before. We just end up in creases of laughter. We really have got a brotherly friendship. It's wonderful to look back on, and it's great to be part of now, to be honest with you. It's a lovely feeling, and I think we all feel the same. So it's really nice, yeah.
Well, yeah, and the good thing is, Pete, somehow, nobody knows why, but somehow in 2018, the Roulettes were back on stage after 55 years. That was amazing. that was really amazing seeing you guys on the stage singing all your hits. What happened? Whose idea was it?
I think it was obviously Russ. He has his convention, so to speak, once a year. Well, has done, and for the first year, and he thought it'd be great to get everybody together again. From the early days. So, I mean, he got Mike Berry, of course, which he's known for since the year dot, and some other people, Nobby Dalton from the Kinks, and I got us four together. And it was a really, really wonderful night. I mean, I think everybody enjoyed it so much. And then, of course, the following year, he said, well, we've got to do this again. So there we were again, but we got Chris over, Chris Andrews. Well, you were there, you know that. And of course, he came and joined us as well. And fun enough, previously to that gig, we'd been to see Chris in Hamburg. He was putting on a show in Hamburg. And we went over for a couple of nights and stayed there, and obviously had a couple of meals out with him and his wife, and saw his show. And we managed to get the Sandy Shore, his Sandy Shore in inverted brackets, and his Adam Faith that he used in the show. And they came over as well. Well, you were there. You probably remember that. Yeah. I mean, it was great. The second one in particular was a tremendous night. We just hope we can do it again. I mean, it would have probably happened this year as well. But there we are. These things happen, and we're all here to fight another day. And looking forward to getting together again.
Yeah, but next year in 2021, we should do this. Russ always calls it the party. We should do the party again in 2021. And our very own Sue Robinson is a great party organizer. Yeah. And Pete,
did a great job.
By the end of 2021, so in autumn, I would love to see you in Germany and having a beer together whilst we're seeing Russ Ballard on stage with his It's Good to Be Here tour 2021.
Oh, that would be great, wouldn't it? That we look forward to.
Yeah, well, we've got to organise that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, we'll find somewhere, maybe around Chris's way, and then we can all meet up, go and see his show, and have a really good night. It'll be fun. That's something for the diary.
Well, just one. I was going to say, Sven. Sorry, you go, Sven.
Yeah, so let's put in something into our all diary. So Ian, also your diary. So Munich City Nights. or Augsburg. There are some great venues to play. He will play in Germany, and yeah, the tour is confirmed for autumn 2021. Tickets are on sale now by Ticketmaster. So another treat for Christmas: grab yourself a pair of tickets.
Yeah, let's see you.
Good to be here.
Let's see you.
It's good to be here. Book.
Let's see you kicking the can in Germany, right? So. I think before we leave, and we're going to take a short break in just one moment. But you were talking just before we do that. I just wanted to give a shout out to the lady that sang as Sandy Shaw at the Russ Ballard experience that you were describing. There's a lady. She's a member of the Voices of Russ Ballard. A lady by the name of Nicola Amos. And she's a fantastic singer, and she did an unbelievable job. She even went barefoot as well, but yeah,
and she wore that long black dress.
Very talented lady. So a big shout out to her on the podcast.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back.
They were a lovely couple of people as well. We had some fun with them. They were good. Yeah,
good.
Excellent stuff. One thing I didn't mention about live shows was the actual first time I think saw Russ on his own live show was at Nell's, where you did the introduction, wasn't it, Ian?
Yeah.
Nell's
Great gig.
Blues Club in London on his tour probably about 4 years ago now, or whatever it was. Yeah, that was a great night, and that was. We had a lot of fun there, and he was great on stage there. I still look at that on YouTube. Actually, it's
I do too. Yeah,
he
was absolutely just so great stage presence. And but as Sven said, start to look at those dates. Hopefully, the UK dates will be rearranged as well for roughly the time. I think we're talking October 2021, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. And we'll be back.
Absolutely.
And we'll be back in a moment with Pete Thorp on the Voices of Russ Ballard. We're back with Pete Thorp on the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast, aren't we, Sven?
Yes, we are. And I think there are still a couple of questions to ask. Very simple questions again, for hopefully simple answers, because we are always interested. Peter, what is your favorite Russ Ballard song?
Oh dear, how difficult. There's quite a few that I really admire. I think from a rock and roll song, it's probably got to be Since You've Been Gone, and I loved the version by the Brian May Band. At the Brixton Academy. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but it's fabulous. And I think Miracles was a fantastic song, beautifully constructed. It was great keyboard playing as well. I thought that was an exceptionally good song. Oh, there's so many, aren't there? It's so difficult. I mean, you can't just choose one song. He's written some lovely stuff, and production, and the talent there with the music and the keyboards and everything, basically. I mean, he says to me, Pete, I've been doing it for 50 years. I said, I know, but that isn't the point. It's still fantastic, and it still sounds so good. And he seems to improve all the time. And it's a joy to know him. And I'm so pleased he's done so well. If anyone deserves it, he certainly does. And good luck to him. I think let's go for Miracles. I think it's probably my favourite song of his.
No,
I don't believe in miracles, I should say, shouldn't I? Sorry.
You do. No, that's fine. That was JV's favourite song as well, wasn't it, Sven?
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably for the same reasons. Musician-wise, we probably both can see how he constructed that, and it was exceptional.
Wow.
That was really, really good. Did you have a chance to listen to his latest album, It's Good to Be Here? Because Since You've Been Gone was re-recorded for that album, and it's completely different to the original. And completely different to the fabulous, I must say it again, the fabulous Brian May version. I love it, by the way. The Brian May band did a fantastic job on that song.
Yeah, well, it was a real good rock song, wasn't it, to be honest with you? And who's the band who got the hit with it?
Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Oh, Rainbow, not Whitesnake. Yeah, same singer, different band. Yeah, I mean, that was cool, and Kiss's version was okay, but Brian May, I thought that was fantastic. It was really good. So, no, that's, but yeah, there you go. But, do you know what? I did listen to it when it first came out, but I've got to be absolutely honest with you, I haven't, and I couldn't really comment on it. And in fairness, I wouldn't want to without listening to it again. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the album without a doubt. I think he changed, didn't he change the layout of the song on the new album? He did, didn't he? Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to have a listen to that in a few minutes' time.
Well, you should. I tell you what, there's that's a great idea. I think I'm going to go and switch that on afterwards as well. There's a track on there called "Wasted," the last ride, which I think is one of the most amazing songs that he's written in a long time. Have a listen to that.
Oh, right.
It's the strangest night with the cloud across the room. You looked up from the pillow, said there's something you should know, but you said you care. So where did that go? Oh no, oh no, oh no, you believe the madness just so. We've wasted good love, wasted good love. Ticket for the last ride, got a ticket for the last ride. We've wasted good love, wasted good love. Ticket for the last ride, ticket for the last ride. Wasted enough. It'll be light soon till I go stay with me in this room. We said we get love for love, we get hate for hate. I gave you everything. I waited, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. With you it all made sense. We wasted good love, wasted good love. Ticket for the last ride, ticket for the last ride, ticket for the last ride. We've wasted good love, wasted good love. Ticket for the last ride, ticket for the last ride. Wasted in love. Those wasted days and all those wasted nights we held above a paradise we'll never hold in twice.
Long may it rain, as they say.
All right.
But not outside.
We're moving towards the end. We've taken a lot of your time this morning, which is now turned into this afternoon, actually. So I'm going to ask you some off-the-cuff questions now, while Sven perhaps thinks of some last questions from him. And I'm going to ask you some desert island questions. So you can only take one of these, okay? So you can only take one album to a desert island. What album do you take?
Boy, oh boy. You know, I would not know. I would not know. I suppose at the end of the day, it's good to be here.
Whoa. Oh, dear. That's a very political answer, Mr. Thorp.
I shall probably get a phone call for that from that.
Yeah, I should think you would. Okay. All right. Well, listen, there's no dodging these questions. I'm going to ask you the same question now. Desert island question. You can only take one song. Okay. Doesn't have to be a single. Could be an album track. But you can take one song for you to listen to on a desert island that you can listen to. What song? It doesn't have to be a Russ Ballard song, honestly.
It is so difficult, isn't it? It really is. I mean, I always loved Evergreen, Barbra Streisand. I thought that was a fabulous song. And then there were some wonderful songs that the Bee Gees wrote for Barbra Streisand. Same, isn't it?
Guilty. On the Guilty album with Robin Gibb.
On the Guilty album, what's that really slow one? I can't remember what it, but I mean, there were some wonderful songs.
What Kind of Fool?
They were great. Yeah, What Kind of Fool, yeah.
That's the I know, I love that album, yeah. It's a great album.
Yeah, it's a brilliant album.
Evergreen's very haunting, the way the piano sort of goes. I think it was written by Bergman and Streisand gets a writing credit on that as well. Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, she does. I didn't realize. I thought she got the credit for it. I didn't realize there was somebody else involved.
Oh, we need to check that. Okay.
Yeah, well, you're probably right. I mean, probably not something I didn't really look at, but no, great song, lovely song.
Well, while the Voices of Russ Ballard team are checking the factual side of what we just spoke about, I've got one last desert island question for you, and nothing to do with music, right? And you can take one personal possession with you to the desert island, to a desert island. What would that be?
Well, it would have to be a guitar, but and I suppose I'd have to take my Martin copy, my Japanese Martin copy or whatever it is. It's a beautiful acoustic guitar, to be honest with you, which I picked up for a song, a music shop in Croydon. Do you remember that shop in Croydon, Ian? You probably do.
Beano's.
West Croydon way.
There's one at the top of Crown Hill called Beano's, which was a second-hand shop, which grew and grew and grew with the vinyl.
Yeah, that grew with the vinyl. That closed quite a while ago, but no.
Yes.
Anyway, but I picked it up and I thought, this is fantastic. And I was mucking about with it. The guy says, you want to buy that, don't you? I said, I do. And I said, how much is it? He said, call it 150. And I thought, well, I can't say no. So out came the credit card, and I've got it here. It's beautiful. I've had it set up by a friend of mine, Charlie Chandler. I don't know if you know Charlie Chandler. He's over in Hampton, where he's quite a well-known guitar tech. He plays with me as well in the band as well. But anyway, that's another story. It's got to be that one. I mean, I think otherwise I would have probably chosen the 62 Strat, which I've still got, just for the love of it and what it meant to me for all these years. Maybe I could creep two out there, could I?
Yes, go on. Why not? We'll let you do that, as you're a nice chap.
Okay, I'll have the Strat and the acoustic then.
Lovely, because I was going to ask you about your guitar rig and what you favour and stuff, because I know you've got Telecasters as well in your collection, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm one of these. I go into a shop. It doesn't have to be a top notch guitar, sort of top of the range, so to speak. I bought a couple of Telecasters, Japanese ones, and what's the cheap vendor? The Squire one. That one that you saw that I used at Russell's was a Squire.
Yes. Okay.
But it's the same story. You pick it up, and it feels so good. It feels that it's yours, and if you get that sort of feeling, I think you've got to go with it. You don't look for the colour, the name or anything like that. You look at a guitar. Once you start playing it and you think that's really good, and then you can always, I mean, there's so many effects and amplifiers and different things now. You can always pretty well get any sound you want out of it, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. But I've always liked the Telecast sound, mainly probably goes back as far as the James Burton years with Ricky Nelson, which of course everybody idolised at the time. Wow. And I met actually in Tottenham, would you believe, at a gig. Really? Got a picture of him with me. Yeah, bless him.
Well, he's probably at home with a picture of that picture saying, I met Pete Thorp once in Tottenham. You know, I got a picture of him on the side.
Yeah, I wish.
Listen, before I hand over to Sven for some last questions, I've just looked up the answer. The answer is that Evergreen was written by Barbra Streisand and Paul Williams.
That's it, Paul Williams.
And then Paul Williams actually wrote hits for the Carpenters, Three Dog Night, etc., and did all sorts. But anyway, so there you go. In case of any of our listeners are thinking that to save them Googling it, I just did that. Sven, have you got any last questions for Pete? Sorry.
He did a lot of orchestrations as well, didn't he?
I think he did.
Paul Williams.
Yeah.
I think he did. Yeah, a bit of orchestral, behind...
Imagine writing a song like that. Just
yeah,
crazy, isn't it? Anyway.
Amazing.
Sven, do you have any last questions for our guest before we let him go and have his Sunday lunch?
Yeah, I have. I like your desert island questions. Question to you, Ian. So Peter's off on a desert island, and he has his copy of the "It's Good to Be Here" album with him. Which album would you give him as a gift for, well, the next 30 years on a desert island?
What that I like, or that I think he might like?
That you like, you want to give him.
It's so difficult. I think my favorite album of all time is Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. I don't think that can be bettered from start to finish, but that may not be everybody's cup of tea. So knowing Pete was, kind of in a boy band in the 60s, I might give him Sgt. Pepper on the basis that he probably would identify with Sgt. Pepper and with a little help from my friends, that's probably what I'd do.
Okay, that's good. I will let you know what my choice is, because please. I also want to give an album to Peter. That's this one. Can you see it?
Right. Yeah.
It's Russ Ballard live.
Oh, blimey.
The Book of Love Tour live.
Love Tour.
Oh, that's fantastic. Where did you get that? Did you make that up?
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Sven
can I get that on Amazon or something? Sven
is now showing Pete the album and the inlay card and the CD of it on the screen for all our listeners. And it's the Book of Love Tour 2007, which you can get direct on Russ, but for all our listeners, in case they haven't got it, direct on Russ's website. Sven, do you have many left in your archives? Because I know that stocks are very, very low.
Well, yeah, there are still some left for Russell's fans out there. So just pop over to russballardmusic.com, click on the live album. There's just a simple bullet point called live album. Click on it, and you can order your copy. And I tell you what, as I now know that Peter doesn't have a copy of it, I will send you one. Peter, I will send you a copy of that album. You need it. Listen to it. No. You know what I'm like. I must pay for it. I don't care what happens. Or either that, or give me a charity.
Or you can buy Sven a beer at the next Russ Ballard Experience gig. How about that?
Even better.
Okay, at least a couple.
At least a couple. Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. That's great. I think we learned a lot today. We learned a lot. It was fantastic to have you around. Thank you so much for your time. And thanks to this modern technology, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you as well. I mean, it's been 18 months, Sven. It's a long time. Absolutely.
And he's still a good-looking chap, you know.
Oh well.
Oh yeah. What can you say? Yeah, I can only echo Sven's comments, Pete. You know, you've been very kind. You've given us a lot of your time. I know you put a bit of thought into, God, what questions are they going to ask us and all the rest of it. But it's been fascinating to hear your journey and your story. And we've probably only, it's the tip of the iceberg, really. But it's been great to have you on, and it is very much in our plans. And this is I'm hoping you would be up for this. Is once we've done all the roulettes, and we're going to do, hopefully a guy called Mr. Ballard next. And once we've done all the roulettes individually, we'd love to have all the roulettes collectively to have you all on one Zoom call. How cool would that be?
Oh no, that sounds really good. I know we have talked about that, and I know it's been mentioned, and I think we're all very much up for that. I think that would be a lot of fun. There'd probably be a lot of shouting over each other, but at the same time, it would be a lot of fun.
We'll risk it. We'll risk that. That's hardly an issue. So we look forward to that.
Absolutely.
So Pete Thorp, once again, stay safe, keep well. Thank you so much for your time. We've really enjoyed talking to you, and join us again next time on the Voices of Russ Ballard.
Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much, Ian and Sven, and enjoy the rest of your day. Have fun, and we'll speak soon. Yeah.
Speak soon.
So,
thank you.
All the very best. So it's goodbye from me, Ian.
And goodbye from me, Sven.
Hi, this is Russ Ballard, and you're listening to the Voices of Russ Ballard podcast.